Go ahead.
There's me being a mom. Get out of the sun. You don't have.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, are we starting?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is grassroots for real.
You guys, thank you so much for being here today and for joining us. We are really excited to talk about what we can do together collectively. And we just have like a couple of speakers, but we want you guys to be able to ask questions as well. And that this is all about us together and how we can possibly make a difference. I'm Aubrey Bloom. My daughter is in kinder and she loves it and loved the pre-K program. I love this school so much and I hope that we can make a big change together. So we're gonna first talk about why we're here today. Courtney's gonna talk us through that. And then we'll have a couple speakers after that. Okay, Courtney, you ready? Let's do this, girl. Courtney, 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 Courtney. There you go, girl. Great. Okay, wait, real quick. Everyone that's been involved in organizing this, can you just raise your hand? All right, so take a look around. These are your people. Questions, comments, how to get involved. These are your people. All right, welcome everybody. My name is Courtney Walker. I am so excited that everyone's showed up. This is awesome. If you know me, you know this is wildly uncomfortable. Not the public speaking part, although that does make the list. It's actually speaking up on a topic that feels like the odds are against us. So if you've been tracking so far, all of the proposals that have been proposed by a committee who I do not want their job, they're a group of volunteers, and they've had to make a hard decision. And in all of the proposals, Norte is closing. And so with that information, I think that was released about 2 weeks ago, if you were watching the board meeting. The day after, I pulled into this parking lot and I thought to myself, what happens if this all goes away? And in the days that followed, I felt sadness, I felt frustration, I felt anger at times, and depending on who I was speaking with, I felt acceptance, ambivalence, all of those things. Ultimately, it led to action, and it led me to be in front of you guys. And maybe you guys all feel that same way, and if you do feel that way, I welcome you here. I'm so glad that you decided to step up and to raise your hand and to volunteer yourself for taking action. So here's what we also know. All of those committee members, no matter how well-intentioned, they don't know our community. They don't know Norte. They might know something. I'm guessing they don't know everything. They don't know our story. And this is where we come in involved. As Ron will share in a little bit, they know that we are a map on a dot, that we are crossroads, but they don't know who we are. And so we have to show them. We have to show them that we care. We have to show them who we are. We have to tell them that Norte is more than a dual language program. It's more than these four walls. It is actually parents and teachers and administrators, all of those people that we trust to educate our children. It is friendships that are built in 2 different languages. It is programming that is the Fall Fiesta and all of the other international-based programming that allows our kids and our students to be international and global citizens. It's also parents, right, that cross district boundaries to bring their kids to a place that they believe in, that their values align, and that they have hope for the future.
Yes.
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 Yeah. So here's the thing, and this is the big ask, and I'm so glad that there's a turnout, right? I'm so glad that everybody's raising their hand right now. We have about 3 months, and that's not very much, maybe even less than that. So what happens is next week, there will be a proposal, and again, we'll talk a little bit more about that, but from there, that's where we need to start speaking up and showing up, right? So asking questions and questioning. I don't want anybody to forget that this is an elected governing board. So especially those that live in district, this matters to you. Rallying your community, asking your neighbors to sign the petition, asking them to send letters. If getting loud like this right now, what I'm doing, isn't your cup of tea, that's fine. Flood their inboxes. Tell them that you love Norte. Tell them your story. And even more powerful, have your kiddo write a letter.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, right? Have your kid write a letter to the board and tell them what it means to be a Norte kid. So these are all of the things that you can do to get more involved, okay? And I want to leave you with this, and I want to ask you of this, because I know we've already asked you to commit your night tonight to hear about what we are asking you to do.
But I'm asking you here to leave more than a meeting attendee. I'm asking you to leave as an advocate whose voice is loud and not able to be ignored by those that make decisions. I will stand for your kids, and I'm thanking you standing up for Norte tonight and also standing up for my kids. Thank you.
And a little applause machine there going, yours is better. Thank you so much. That was powerful. We really appreciate you. Erin now is going to talk about the importance of dual language and why it matters for all of us and our children.
Thanks, Aubrey. My name is Erin Tamayo. I am a local pastor. I'm also a bilingual educator myself, as well as I teach global education at Arizona State University, and I'm a teacher trainer. But most importantly, I'm a mother of 2 Norte kiddos. One has recently graduated and gone on to KMS, and the other one is a fourth grader here at Norte. As a bilingual educator myself, I've been in contact with the Dual Language Network of Arizona about the possible closing of Kyrene del Norte. We know that dual language academies are few and far between. We know even more that quality dual language programs of any kind are hard to come by, especially one that is successful and implemented and executed as we have here at Kyrene del Norte. I'm not sure if you know, but Norte is a flagship dual language immersion program where not only children, but also fellow bilingual educators come to learn about the model of dual language immersion. It's lifted up and acknowledged throughout the state as a model DLI or dual language immersion program and in the community because of its excellence and its leadership. So tonight I want to lift up some things that are extra special to our very own Dual Language Academy. As we take a stand for Norte, we want to remember to take a stand for each one of these things that makes Norte Dual Language Academy so unique and so successful. First of all, when we take a stand for Norte, we take a stand for a clear dual language mission, vision, and guiding principles, where all students have quality education and are provided an inclusive environment to foster high-achieving bilingualism, biliteracy, and multiculturalism. This prepares our students to lead as global citizens. When we stand for Norte, we stand for teachers and administrators who are professionally developed and collaborative in the dual language methods and teacher teams. These teams execute the 50-50 model that we all know so well, 50% of the day in Spanish, 50% of the day in English. They're bilingually accredited, and they're experienced in this model. This program begins with our beloved Bienvenidos preschool and goes all the way through to 5th grade, preparing our students for a lifetime of bilingualism. Third, when we stand for Norte, we stand for a dedicated and well-developed English and Spanish curriculum. This specifically designed curriculum aims to develop proficiency in all academic content areas in both languages. Fourth, am I fourth or fifth? Fourth, when we take a stand for Norte, we stand for native language population involvement. This means that native English speakers are learning from native Spanish speakers, and native Spanish speakers are learning from native English speakers. This normalizes the dual language experience. And last, when we stand for Norte, we take a stand for embedded cultural pedagogy, where bilingualism and multiculturalism are celebrated across classrooms, events, and activities. Students have an awareness of their own culture, their own ideas, and they have an appreciation of others' cultures and ideas and viewpoints. And they develop skills that allow them to effectively take part and lead in an increasingly global community. So in this moment, we have to take a stand for Norte, which we can agree is more than a school, right? It's a community, it's a model, it's a promise to our children that their voices, their language, and their cultures matter. Together, let us stand for Norte and demonstrate strongly that our families and our community are deeply invested in dual language here in the eastern part of the Kyrene district. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Ron is going to talk us through a couple of items here about the process moving forward and what the plan looks like. I'm going to pause. Any questions so far? Okay.
What's up, everyone? I'm Ron Romo. I mean, that's husband. I have 2 kids at Norte right now, one in 2nd grade, Ronnie Romo, and a kindergartner, Oliver Romo. And then our little 3-year-old right here, Benny Romo, hoping that he starts in Bienvenidos next year. So if you didn't get a handout, one of these packets, please grab one. This is what I prepared for this evening. I'm going to go over this. I'm a big numbers guy, data driven. Everything that was mentioned before this is super important, very impactful. It's just not my forte. My forte is numbers. I look at graphs all day, look at numbers. That's what I do. Luckily for us, the numbers support Norte. And I think this gives us a winning chance at making a strong case for our school to the board and to the committee. So we'll go through this. I kind of tried to make everything a little more digestible, easier to understand, and we'll kind of walk through it. So flip to that first page and we'll kind of go through that real quick. So you can see on here all the way from 2010, 2011, we're kind of in the golden age of Kyrene enrollment, right? It's at the top, it's around 18,000. Slowly declining all the way through 24, 25. You can see in the blue is in district, in the green is out of district. In the blue is declining steadily, year over year. In the green remains relatively stagnant, right? So in the green is out of district. I just kind of put some notes on here on the bottom. Take a look. Just kind of tells us enrollment's down, right? So really, I think the big talking point that everyone's saying is, oh, birth rates are down, birth rates are down. Doesn't necessarily mean birth rates are down in our community. It just means we have no kids left here anymore. People live here, they sent their kids through the schools, they've grown up, they've moved out. Luckily, my wife and I'm one of those kids. I went through the Kyrene School District. I'm fortunate enough to live here now, but not everyone is that fortunate. There's just not kids in the district anymore. So this graph just says Kyrene's main priority as a district should be to attract out of district students.
Woo!
Can everyone agree with that?
Yes.
Right? Because we're not making kids here anymore. That's just a mature community. That's how mature communities go through their cycles, right? So Norte, if we switch to that next page, you'll see Norte on here, projected enrollment through 2031. Keep in mind, all this information is from the long-range planning meetings. They're from the demographer that Irene hired. This is all public data that I pulled straight from their graphs, websites. I didn't make any of this up, just pointing out the facts. So you'll see every elementary school is like these 3 schools on the left. Those front schools are all middle schools, so you don't really look at those, look at the elementary schools. And you'll see that Norte, the school highlighted in green, is the only school that really remains stable at that 500 student threshold.
Wow.
Everything else is below, it dips. There's a few schools that remain stable, but they're under 500. You'll see like Colina, 362 goes to 366. Pretty stable, but very under utilization. Norte, stable all the way through 2031. And then you'll see at the bottom there, bottom note, Kyrene del Norte is projected to be the largest school by 2031. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's about, quick math here, it's like 15 students more than the next biggest school, which I think would be Brisas in 2031. So there's another huge talking point. Switch to the next page. Sorry, I'm used to having like presentations behind me where I can just kind of like point to it.
We'll have that in 2 weeks, Ron. No problem.
Yeah, we'll get that up for you.
Not like you had a long time.
Should have rolled my my TV out here.
Yeah.
All right, so next page. I thought this one was kind of cool. I threw it in here. This is more of like a it's a COVID page, okay? So again, you show those numbers, 2014, 2015, that's when you start to see those declines in Kyrene School District. They had the high enrollment, and then it jumps to 2019, 2020, okay? You'll see every school on there, every elementary school, and their enrollment. From 2019, 2020, that's when COVID happened. You see a big drop off that next year. You see like 100 students leaving, 50 students, 200 students. Norte remains stable that whole time. So on that, the right side of that graph, you see a cool little dialog box. It just kind of says, this means one of two things, or it can mean both things. It tells you that Norte families are loyal to the school. They returned after COVID, or Norte's reputation is strong enough and attracted new families to keep coming into the school. Both of those things can be true, or it's one or the other. I think that's huge. You can't say that for the rest of these schools. And I know it's unfortunate to say, I hate pitting us against other schools, but I think the unfortunate part of this is that they're going to have to close schools, but the numbers don't support our school closing. They support us keeping it open. Next page, you'll see just more demographic data. Norte brings in about 60% out-of-district students. So you'll see out-of-district is in the yellow, blue is in district. What does that mean? That's about 300 out-of-district students. That's including myself. Yvette and I live across Guadalupe. I mean, we're close, but technically we're in the Tempe Elementary School District, and we chose Kyrene. We chose this school specifically. Back to my main point. Kyrene's main priority should be to grow their out-of-district base because there's no kids left. So we're the most successful school at attracting out-of-district students. That's huge.
That's the underlying issue that the school board states.
Yeah.
Is enrollment numbers.
Right, that's the number one thing.
And most of the children who, if this school closes, most of these children will not re-enroll in the Kyrene School District.
Exactly.
I'm very lucky that my children will, but I moved here to be next to this school.
Do we have any statistics on that? It would probably be best if we had some sort of survey of current Norte students and who would go to Wagner and who would not, because they already have all of this information and they made their decision on this information. And I'm assuming that they're assuming that every individual who's at Norte will then go to Wagner. But for some people,
Can I say something?
I think they're thinking it's only a mile and a half, but some people who are out of district that
I bused my kids from South Mountain here and drove them from South Mountain here before I purchased a house that was significantly more expensive to
Yeah.
be next to this school, not Wagner.
Wait, if you guys want to, we want to hear you guys. So come up here if you have.
Can we do it at the end?
Yeah. Really quick. I just will say after I did speak to one of the board members. She was a volunteer on the committee. She did say no, but it was not unanimous. That they had a very hard time deciding what to do. So these were tough decisions. Even though they had the data, I still think we have a chance even with the data that they used. But I think it's a valid point.
Did you hear the part about the survey?
Yeah.
Yes, a survey is a great idea.
The survey out.
There is
There is a survey going around that has that exact question on it, as far as if you're from out of district or you're in district, what are you planning to do if Norte closes? So that is on the survey.
So are we saying, I guess,
There's a survey.
there is a survey going around. Should we make our own so we have
No,
exact time to that info, or do we already have it?
We've been in conversation.
We have access to that info already? Okay,
Yeah.
cool,
The
great.
question was, is the survey, would you continue on it in Wagner, yes or no?
There's
like four options,
Yeah,
right?
there's are you in district and you would continue? Are you in district and you would not continue? Are you out of district and you would continue? Are you out of, so it's all four of them
and
are.
there's even
Okay.
other.
Yeah.
Got it.
And I filled it out today. I didn't make it. I just filled it out today.
Yeah.
But we could put it on all the I think it's already on the Facebook pages, but we can like put it on. Or if you guys aren't on the Facebook pages for your kids' grades, That's where like there's a lot of conversation as well and a lot of information you can get.
Okay. Great.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's huge. I mean, if we get enough numbers that show people aren't going to transfer, maybe that makes a difference. I think that's a huge talking point. On this last page, these are just school facts about the district. So this is just compiled information, has every elementary school on here. So every school on the east side, every school on the west side, so in Ahwatukee. It shows what's the recommendation status, if it's going to stay open or closed, total enrollment, capacity, utilization, room for additional students. There's some interesting facts that you can point out on here. Some of the ones that I, called out below. Total East enrollment, 4,586 students. So that's the whole, Tempe, Chandler region. We have about 609 more students in the east side. If they were to go through with the recommendation and close 4 schools on the east, 4 schools on the west, and even keep open a gifted school on the west, it disproportionately affects the east side because we have 609 more students. That's almost a whole entire school. So just a huge point just as far as the whole recommendation goes. And then if you do that, capacity numbers wise, it only leaves about 100 seats for growth on the east side, and it leaves over 1,000 seats, probably 1,200 seats on the west side. So huge disproportionate effect on the east versus west. And again, I'm not trying to get into an east versus west war or anything like that. Just pointing out the facts.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Question for you, Ron.
Yeah.
go ahead.
Hey, Ron,
Yeah, what do you got?
I wanted to ask on this question about the
Yeah.
attendance versus schools. Is this saying that we have the most out-of-district students?
So it is saying that we have the most out of district and out of boundary students. So it could be, it doesn't specify, so it will include kids that are in Kyrene district, just out of these school boundaries. But it still doesn't take away from the success of Norte's attraction, right? Or its reputation of getting those students to come here. I think that's really the main point to take away from it, because you will get people that will try to poke holes in that. That, it's not it may not be all out of district kids, right? Go ahead.
To piggyback on that, like part of what the Kyrene district is saying is that they're going to open up a gifted and talented school. They're going to repurpose another school as a gifted and talented school that is going to attract not only out of district people, but that is their primary goal, but in district people. And that is what is already happening at this
Absolutely.
establishment. So what they are actually advocating that they want to do is already happening here. And it's really important that we keep vocalizing that.
Is the gifted school supposed to be on the west side then?
It is. It's Millennium on the west side. So
You're not
it's
gonna get any
close to the 10.
for there.
Yeah.
Like, no one's gonna drive.
It's in
5, 6
Ahwatukee,
miles.
unfortunately.
Yeah, that's
And I think it has to do with, if you look at the districts on a map, geographically, that's probably the center of the district. Unfortunately, though, the I-10, just like the demographer said, other people on the board said, that is a natural or man-made boundary that stops people from crossing over, right? It's an inconvenience, right, to everyone. Whether you live in Ahwatukee coming to this side, whether you live on this side driving to Ahwatukee.
And there's a whole argument about putting all of the gifted kids in one school because gifted kids also need diversity and to be with other peers too of different types. So there's a whole argument against that too. So, all right.
Thank you, everyone. That's my time.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
We're gonna have some more questions.
Yeah, we're going to share this, so if you didn't get a paper, we'll have this available for you. But who else is feeling pumped? I feel very energized by what I've heard so far. I feel like we've got a lot of energy behind this. I'm so grateful for everybody who's come out today. I'm going to end by just talking through a couple of things. So let's talk about the pathways of learning. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to beat a dead horse. We've talked about some of the things already. We're reducing the number of middle schools from 6 to 4. The elementary schools are going to go from 17 to 13. They're repurposing Millennial as a gifted academy, and they're recommending a lot of closures both on the west and the east side. So what's coming up? Next week is a board meeting. It's on the 16th. We need bodies. We need boots on the ground in blue shirts or whatever you want to wear. We need kids, we need parents, we need friends, we need neighbors, grandparents to show up, and we need people to speak at that. So if that's not your game, all good. You don't have to, but just show up and bring people with you. We need bodies and people to show up. If you can speak, we have some signups. We'd love for you guys to be able to give your take on what's going on. If you have children that maybe want to speak, I love that idea. We really want this to be a collective in how we're presenting to the board. The other thing is there will be another meeting then in October. So again, we need people there to show up and support, people to speak. So you don't have to do all of this stuff, right? If you've shared the petition, fantastic. If you've signed it, you've joined the Facebook group, if you've shared the Facebook group with other people, just keep doing those activities because the collective starts to add up. We started that petition, we're at over 800. That's amazing, right? That's the momentum that we have behind this, and we need to keep that going. If you haven't emailed the board members, there's opportunities to do that. And if you need, templates, we're happy to share them with you. If that's not, chat GPT it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just put together a couple sentences and start to flood their email box.
Do we have emails?
Yes.
Yeah, we have a toolkit.
We have a toolkit. Yep. So if
There's a virtual toolkit that you can get. If you signed up there, email on that.
Aubrey,
Perfect.
tell them to go
QR
early
code
to the
right there.
meetings.
It's
Yeah.
all there listed. Sorry.
one other thing about the meetings, we do, if you can get there as early as possible, that would be great. If you can make signs, that would be great. Anything and everything's going to add to it. If you have something to add to it, please do it. And bring people with you. We don't have as many people here today as we'd like. We brought the best of the best, though. Thank you guys so much. But we need more, right? We need more people behind us, and we need your support in doing that.
Just want to add to, me and Ron went to the meeting last week, the board meeting on Tuesday, which wasn't supposed to be about long range committee, but they changed it. And they basically skipped over 1 through 8 and went straight to this. And it was because people got to speak there. Now, if there's, I think up to 15 people that want to speak, you get 3 minutes. If there's up to 30, you get 2. And if there's over 30, you get 1 minute. So don't think you're gonna get the board to be listening to you for 15 to 20 minutes. You get 1 minute. So I really advise you to hit your points, make your talk short and sweet. When you show up, it's real easy. You basically check in and you get a number and you fill out a little blue card, and your blue card, you just put your name on it and they'll basically call you up in order. So what we can kind of do is, it was cool to see other schools there that are also fighting for their schools. They would have 7 or 8 people on the same school talking in a row. And they would just kind of like, everybody would cheer and get it going and talk about things. And if we want to coordinate a little bit of going, okay, I want to talk about this, different parts of our school, so that we don't just get 1 minute with each person, we get 8 to 10 or 12 minutes all about our school. So we can coordinate that all together. It's helpful. Just keep talking about it and try to get together on that. There is a main floor and then there's an overflow room. So if you get there early enough, you will get in that main floor. I think that's a big difference because then they can see us on the video as well. If anybody's seen it on YouTube, you can see blue shirts that say Norte on them in that area. So just a couple of notes there that me and Ron experienced. It was that people were protesting. They were actually kids were having fun, waving signs and streamers and that kind of thing. So as far as we want to go with that, we can. But I think getting in that boardroom is a big deal for all of us.
And Murata is going to be showing up early. They've had a huge effort as well to keep their school open, and they've invited us to join them prior to the meeting to rally together. Again, we're not trying to pit schools against schools. We, the idealized version is everything stays open. We know that's not possible, but we do think we have some very compelling data behind it, some great stories, some great experiences about why Norte should remain open. And I just really appreciate everybody coming out. The call to action today: sign the petition, share the petition, join our Facebook group, share it with everybody. If you've got people that are like, I don't know, I'm just gonna go with the try and get them motivated, right? Help our friends and neighbors to understand. Join the board meetings, join in emailing your representatives on the board. And we can't do this individually. We can only do it collectively. So thank you guys so very much. Yeah.
One thing that I keep hearing a lot is that the reason it's Norte is because the school there's too many repairs that need to happen. So there's all this data on like numbers and things. Is there anywhere we can see like what needs to happen?
Yep.
How much
That's
is
the
it?
exact question I have.
Those are the questions we need to ask.
We have a lot of questions, and I have questions about what happens to the school. Where is it going? Who's buying the school? How did you decide who's buying the school? Are those the people who did the data? There's a lot of different things that I would like to understand about why this choice came down to Norte.
That's like a board meeting question.
Yeah. I'll say one more thing. I don't need
There's
to-
also community meetings where you can ask questions too that are coming up.
Yeah, there are several community meetings. We'll post those on the Facebook page as well.
Yeah, one more thing too. So there's a lot of people that think that Norte going to Wagner, everything's gonna be fine, which we don't know that. Who knows, right? But when you look at the numbers again, right? You look at the total enrollment. So if you look at Norte's enrollment, we're right around 500 kids. Okay.
You look at Norte's enrollment, it's around 500 kids. You look at Wagner's enrollment, it's around 400 kids. You look at Wagner's capacity, it's only about 838 kids. If you're absorbing all of Norte, that's close to 900 kids. So where does that additional 100 kids go? Are they banking on losing some enrollment? Because I thought that was supposed to be the #1 priority of the district, right? Question.
For that, in that case, would they prioritize in-district families for those spots?
Great question.
They would, but what I'm saying is okay, yeah. So yeah, you would have to prioritize in district.
District families need to look
Yeah,
into this on that.
exactly.
Ron,
Hey, Sarah, go ahead.
Ron,
That was gonna
can you
be-
repeat that? Sorry. We need to make sure that people can
Oh, if you didn't hear me, okay.
No.
Her question.
Oh,
Joni, come on up. Or Johnny.
prioritizing in district students.
In-district
Yeah.
families because they have to.
Yeah. So if Wagner's capacity can't handle all of Norte, you're asking would they prioritize in district students? I think that's a great question we need to ask the board because we don't know. Yeah. On the website, if you look on their FAQs, it says kids that are already enrolled are grandfathered in.
No, it says
Right.
kids that you're grandfathered into the nearest.
Oh yeah, into the nearest school.
Does
Correct.
that mean niños?
Yeah.
Does that mean
Correct.
like what?
Yeah. There's no. Yeah, we have no idea if like I said earlier. My wife and I, we live outside the district, so we have no clue if our kids will even get into Wagner. Another question.
So that was going to be one of my main questions because Wagner's boundary stays the same, which means that the projections that we see on Wagner here are the correct projections because their boundary is not changing. So there are 200 students left behind in this merging of the dual language.
Correct. Yeah, I think it's 710 was what the
Yes.
projection was.
Yeah, so
for total.
they are saying 710, but in reality, the addition it adds up to almost 900.
Correct.
So I think that we should know why the demographer selected 710.
Yeah.
Where
Great
are the
question.
missing students?
Yeah.
And all these questions should go to the board and the community meetings too. And we should be writing them down.
Yeah.
We have a video.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yeah. Come on up. Or do you want to just?
I'll just speak up, but
Okay.
as a group, I know there's some organizing this, but as a group, do we have goals as to how many signatures we want? Will that make a difference? And then what is our, I guess collectively, what is the goal? Just to keep the school open,
So-
or like push out Wagner and have them come here or move somewhere else? What
Yeah.
are we pushing for?
Okay. So idealized state, we get to keep our building, we get to keep our program, right? If we can't have that, then how are they going to effectively move our program and into Wagner? These are questions.
They need to do a dual language academy
Right.
pathway.
Right.
They need to pick a school. If it's not Norte,
Exactly.
what school is going to be the dual language academy? Because we have the numbers.
Right. Exactly. That's it.
Can we
as a group come up with kind of an idea of what that would be, or like what school is closing that we could move into if it comes down to the building as a non-starter?
Yeah.
If they're not going to have the building either way, maybe we should come up with something to suggest.
Yeah.
That is a problem because Niños and Norte are the ones that are close, and that's how the dual language can happen here.
So maybe like Niños and Wagner.
Yeah.
And then, something like that we could propose.
We
The only
need
thing
to
you can't do
understand.
that, Ninos is a Title I school. It gets federal funding. So if you close that school, you lose federal funding. And it's based off of free lunches, how many kids can qualify. If you take those kids and put them into Kyrene, the percentages get out of whack. It no longer qualifies as a Title I school. So they're not saying that in the meetings, but that's why. So they get money on top. They get the federal money.
Can we also think about, is Wagner better for us or Niños because the start time's so different?
Oh gosh, don't get me started on the start time, honey. We're gonna have a lot of problems at a 7:30 a.m. start time in the Bloom household. Let me tell you that right now. Nobody's showing up on time.
Isn't our main goal to get this recommendation to not be passed? Like,
Yes.
get them to vote no on this.
Yes.
Because then it makes them propose something different, right?
Yeah.
So really, like the idea of us to give alternatives and that, our main goal is just to get this thing to be no. It's not going to be the recommendation we're going to.
But how are they going to say no if there's no other option? You know what I mean? Like if we don't.
How are they going to say no if there's no other option is a great question. And the answer is you don't say no if there's no other option. If you provide other options, then there is a reason why.
Yeah.
So
I have 1 second. If you guys would give me 1 second. My name is Andrew Murphy. I'm the owner of Murphy's Trees. I have a daughter who's already graduated from Norte and gone to KMS. I have 2 daughters currently in KMS, in Del Norte, and a 10-day-old daughter who I'm hoping to send here. It is my dream. I moved from South Phoenix to here, and ultimately we do need a unified front to affront this. We want this program to continue. And I am here today to put my money where my mouth is, and I would like to, I don't know if we have any representatives from the PTO. Do we have anybody from the PTO here today?
Yvette's here. Oh, it's just the treasurer. There we go.
I'd also like to call on the PTO to divert all funds from the Bookathon, the Readathon, to saving this program and this school. But I am here today to write a $750
Whoa, all right, yeah. Awesome,
and I
thank you.
think we do need a unified front there are statistics to back this up. The children that come to the school are from out of district. Even a bunch of the people, including myself and my 4 children, have moved here to be next to this school. This school is a beacon, and it is drawing children to the Kyrene education system. Enrollment is their main thing that they quote, and they're about to open up a new gifted and talented academy to draw more students here. These are their own goals that they're stating. These are not things that I'm making up. And if they want to draw people out of district, he presented the numbers. The numbers speak for themselves. And my children will go to Wagner if this school closes, and my heart aches for the people who won't have that opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We really appreciate that. Okay, make sure if you haven't already, there's tons of information over there. Please sign up if you haven't already. Please grab some paperwork that we shared today. We will share it on Facebook. We appreciate you guys. We will be emailing out some information, so if you didn't put your email down, please put that down. And thank you. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it.
What's the best resource to get in contact with you guys who are leading all this?
But go on Facebook.
Facebook page?
Facebook.
Facebook. Norte?
Yes.
Okay.
QR code's on the packet.
Yep.
So hit the QR code. That's supposed to communicate with you guys, right?
Yes, that's
Okay.
our central hub. We've decided just to house everything there. All the information is there.
Okay. And next Tuesday, what time's the board meeting?
Oh yeah. That we're gonna post that just so everything's clear and what time we'll be meeting. That will be on the Facebook page.
What is
with address and everything.
I think it's 6.
I think it starts at 6 is right, yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Feel free to get to know each other and mingle.
Love